When the elements of the nature mix with the colors, emotions comes out from the heart, and it makes us to fall in love with ourselves. Getting out from the corporate desk and city life and finding your identity in the laps of the Himalayas is a different emotional happiness altogether, for which our soul always craves to be there again. For the elements and colors of the nature beckons us in the dream. To feel the love and affection of the mountains again and again. And the sounds of the chilling winds, chirping of the colorful unknown birds recalls the memories of melody which we left in the mountains. Such is the land of sleeping Buddha, the Sandakphu and Phalut trek. The land of peace and serenity, the land of romance with the mountains, the land to feel the emotion of being yourself. The trails where the peace prevails with the fluttering prayer flags, as preached by the Lord Gautam Buddha, and the one which takes the mind to another level of emotion is the gigantic KhanchenDzonga and the Mount Everest. Now, let us walk together to the land of sleeping Buddha. Is it a dream or is it real? The phenomena of colors over the gigantic, amazing sleeping Buddha during the sunrise is something which feels like witnessing a wonderful dream in heaven. Clouds floating and circulating below the footsteps, and the rising sun is welcoming for a fresh start of the new adventure in Wonderland. The colors all around could possibly make a traveler go crazy with the ambience. And the moment which leaves the traveler awestruck is the distant prominent view of the highest peak of the world, the gigantic Everest, Makalu, Lhotse, Nuptse, Chamlam. Witnessing a lifetime experience of sunrise over the highest peaks of the world. It's now time to move to another most prettiest and silent wonderland. That is Phalut. What a shiny bright morning in the wonderland to start the adventure. The dark blue sky and the majestic bold white mountain in the background. Phalut is about 21 kilometers from Sandakphu, and there are no tea shops and huts available in between till Sabar Gram. Trail from Sandakphu to Phalut runs over the hilltop, so the beauty which one witnesses is quite wide and much more amazing compared to the previous days. It is such that while walking, one could get a complete view of KhanchenDzonga to the right, on the left, the majestic Everest will accompany the traveler throughout. It is recommended to all the traveler carry enough water and dry foods for the trail, as one may not get many options in between. As one moves, the scenic beauty widens with every steps. The closer view of Everest Makalu Lhotse Chamlang could be viewed. And KhanchenDzonga accompanies the traveler throughout. The blue sky above, the long tree on the edge of the trails, bright sun with chilling cold wind blowing throughout, gives a motivation and a pleasure of being in the wonderland at the same time. In between Sandakphu to Phalut, there are 3 halting points. One is Ahal, which is just 1 kilometer from Sandakphu. And here we are now in Ahal, after 1 kilometer from Sandakphu. Only a single tea house and stay option is available here, which needs to be pre-booked. A flat ground here is a part of Nepal, and a large milestone in the edge indicates the border of India and Nepal. A beautiful spot to observe the surreal sunrise sunset with amazing panoramic view all around. Ahal is such a place that one will sleep in Nepal and will go to view sunrise in India. A beautiful place hidden in a popular spot. Provide the feel of silence away from everything. To feel and observe minute details in this wonderland. Waves of green and rocky mountains all around, with 8 gigantic peaks standing with proud above them. Seems like humans and living beings are praying with their heads bowed in front of the majestic ruler. Through the zigzag trails, somewhere to the straight flat path, the well-satisfied souls of the trekkers moves on its own, for it has got the feel of necessity of adventure. For the soul has received the satisfaction to be in the world of amusement, for it craves more to enrich the beauty of this heavenly world. Every milestones I cross, I get a feel of magic. For every steps I place, I feel I am in a land away from desperate, aggressive corporate civilization. Hariyali Hariyali, Charaitira Hariyali, Jatatira Hira. As said by Bibul Chetri. The green all around, wherever I look, I am surrounded by the green. And it feels so satisfying For the soul has always craved for this ambience unknowingly, in search of freedom. Get loose away from the cage of daily life, the monotony of the city lights. Walking on the meadows of green, on the mountain top, waves of one mountain all around, with the soothing cold winds. A malnourished, unsatisfied, craving soul has been set free today to receive the nutrition of love, the nourishment of amusement, as spread by the elements of affection all around. And surprising, wondrous beauty is keeping us silent. For it is the moment to believe that heaven is real, and it is in the earth known as Himalayas. On this trail, one will always want to stop for a while to get amazed for the beauty all around. Panoramic view leaves the traveler awestruck, and the moments take a special place in the heart. And one will dream every day for it, which will call every mountain lovers and nature lovers to be here again and again, and have a chance of romancing again with the colors. From here, the terrain changes completely. One leaves all the vegetations behind and gets welcomed by the large green meadows all around. All one could witness all around is the green meadows with long distant views of highest peaks and no obstruction of any vegetation in between. The Sleeping Buddha comprises of many peaks, namely Kumbhakarna, Kokthang, Rathong, Kabru South, Kabru North, Goecha, Simbhu, Forked Peak, Kabru Dome, KhanchenDzonga Main, Yalomkang, Kangbachen and Pandin. This ground in front is known as Yak Point. Annual Yak festival is held here in this ground for 2 to 3 days. The locals of the Singalila region celebrates the festival with yak dance, yak race, local cultural folk songs, dance, drama, and with varieties of food. It is held in the middle of month of April every year. If a person walks alone in this wonderland, He or she might get mad with the ambience all around. One may want to dance in this awesomeness of nature, would lose herself in the laps of the Himalayas, like a little girl has been set free from the life to play within the nature. Feels like to be in a romantic mood with the mountains, be in love with the dramatic trails, to fall in love with the colorful environment. It feels like walking through a dream, living in a moment of ultimate truth, to discover the beauty of the Himalayas over the meadows. After passing through the amazing meadows, here we are now in Thokum. Thokum has a SSB camp where the trekkers need to show their identity proof just for the safety measures and record. It is also a resting point in between the trails. Beautiful tiny blue hut is a forest rest house for the forest officials. The view around just inexpressible in the human words. After Thokum, the next resting or halting point is Sabar Gram. Sabar Gram is a beautiful spot on the mountain top. One could spot and pass by few shelters, which are used by the shepherds while grazing the cattle. The shepherds use the shelters at night or in the winter months with a dog guarding the cattle. A raw essence and flavor of nomadic life could be felt all around. Far away from the modern day civilization, away from the cacophony of city life, away from the daily busy schedule. Feels like this is the way life is meant to be, with no stresses, leaving behind all the responsibilities of society, forgetting the burden. Only feeling of happiness is all around. And here we are now in Sabar Gram, covering the distance of 14 kilometers from Sandakphu. Sabar Gram is a halting point and lunch break point after there is only a single forest hut present in Sabar Gram, which is operated by the forest department, where one can stay overnight. Those who don't get booking in Phalut opt to stay in Sabar Gram or Mole, which is just 1 kilometer from Sabar Gram. After the lunch, it's time to move to the ultimate point, Phalut. With the rhythm of all the elements of nature, why should the clouds will stay apart? And with the mesmerizing ambience all around, the clouds also starts to play with it, floating greyish color. The weather turns a bit cloudy and foggy, for which no more view of beautiful peaks could be viewed. Phalut, the ultimate point, is like a junction of 3 points. It is the border of two states of India, that is Sikkim and Darjeeling, at one side, and in the another side, it is also the border of India and Nepal. After Sabar Gram, to some kilometers, the trail is flat and downhill. Creates a comfort for every trekkers. But the last lap of about 2 kilometers, it is a steep uphill. So it is advised to get the water bottles refilled in Sabar Gram, for there are no water source for the last few kilometers. Beautiful silence could be observed and felt in this trail than the previous days. With beautiful trees on the mountain edges, a raw smell of leaves and mists mixes up with the gloomy evening. Ambience creates a feeling of amazement all around. Wherever one views get stunned, for one has stepped into the land away from the modern civilization. A small pond with a hut is a checkpost of Nepal police. This is the last 1 kilometer to reach the Phalut. This is from where the steep climb starts. But the urge to reach the target and the speed of the mountains motivates the trekker to accept the challenge and to move on. And here we are, just a few meters away to reach Phalut.
তোকে আর ধ্রুবকে জাগালি দিচ্ছে এখানের লোকজন।
Cloudy, foggy morning here in Phalut. That's a great misfortune and a bad luck as well. On a bright sunny day, Phalut is a wonderland on earth. With amazing silence throughout the sunrise, brings out the absolutely gorgeous and stunning colors of Himalayas. And the gigantic KhanchenDzonga looks like a giant of eastern Himalayas. And one could view the Everest Makalu Lhotse Chamlang from a much more closer view. Nothing can stop a traveler and trekker, even if it's a foggy morning with no views outside. Because the heart has got the taste of amazement, and the soul is craving for more adventure, and the eyes wants to explore more. And finally, here we are, Phalut. After a long, strenuous and challenging journey yesterday, this is the emotional moment to cherish. This is the moment to feel the achievement on your own. This is the moment of pride for learning and knowing about the truth of life. To know the self-potential, to know what the heart and soul wants away from the corporate desk in a cacophonous city. The Phalut viewpoint is beautifully decorated with prayer flags and stones, as seen in every summit point of the Himalayas. Colorful prayer flag shows and spread the positivity in silence, holding the responsibility of protecting the peace, harmony, and unity, and spreading the positivity all around. In the belief, the heart chants Om Mani Padme Hum. Phalut, the junction point of Sikkim, Darjeeling, and Nepal, lies at an altitude of 11,800 feet, which is just 200 feet lesser than Sandakphu, but provides a more wide and astonishing view on a bright sunny weather. Phalut has only two huts. One is a forest hut operated by the forest officials, and another is a GTA hut operated by the Government of Tourism of Darjeeling. To the north of Phalut goes the trail to Singalila Pass, the highest point of Singalila range. Now, with a heavy heart, one has to leave the Phalut with lots of emotion, for the journey is coming to end. After Phalut, one descends to Gorkhey village of Darjeeling, which is 16 kilometers from Phalut. The trail to Gorkhey is extremely beautiful through the dense rhododendron forest. During the blooming season, like March and April, the trail gets fully colored for the beautiful blooming rhododendrons. And in the winter months, the trail remains fully covered with snow, which also creates a different amazing colorful beauty. The trail to Gorkhey is entirely downhill and quite comfortable, and takes around 4 to 5 hours to cover 16 kilometers. It is advised to carry enough water for the trails, but there are no major sources of water in between. After the trail from Sandakphu to Phalut, when one walks to Gorkhey, feels like back to the vegetations again. For the last day, the entire walk was through the meadows, grasslands, and mountains. Here we are now in Alubari-Camp. A very small tea shop here provides tea break, operated by the forest officials. A flat ground in the dense jungle gives an opportunity to have a relaxation for some time. And here, after a long distance, one could get the view of Samanden village. And one could relate of getting back to the civilization, to the comfort zone again. And from here, we could get amazing view of Gorkhey village. Gorkhey is also very less populated with countable families. An amazing picturesque village which will always take a special place in the hearts of every trekkers. Colorful houses beautifully decorated with prayer flags all around. Orchids, magnolias, rhododendrons blooming all around, surrounded with dense green forest, is an amazing picturesque village. Heart melts when one entered the village of Gorkhey and could hear the sounds of flowing of river Gorkhey Khola. Gorkhey is a paradise on earth and detoxifies the mind and soul with its amazing soothing natural beauty, and takes place a special place in the heart of every trekkers forever. The people here are mostly Hindus followed by Buddhists. Their income is mostly based on trekking activities and farming. Such is the amazing trek to Sandakphu Phalut. It is more of walking through the dreams rather than walking through the mountains. It is the trail of emotions, a land of romance, a land of inexpressible beauty, a land of witnessing the highest peaks of the world, Everest, Makalu, Lhotse, and KhanchenDzonga with proudness. The view which leaves the traveler spellbounded is the sleeping Buddha, the land of Buddha, the land of peace, harmony, and unity. As Michael Kennedy stated, all the mountain landscape holds stories, the ones we read, the ones we dream, and the ones we create. Such is the journey of Sandakphu Phalut. We read the nature, we make the stories, we create the memories, we dream to be here again. Heaven is a bit closer to the mountains, such we feel. It is always the same with the mountains. Once you have lived with them for any length of time, you belong to them. There is no escape. For one will definitely fall in love with the Himalayas. Such is the positivity of the Himalayas. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe our channel, like, comment on our videos. Press the bell icon for we will bring more adventure of the trails. You can join us on the trails with Himalayan passion.